Hey everybody, it's Mike Venus and I'm back. And I want to speak on giving out my personal um, ideas of if they made a Force 2. Because I really love the Force. I really like the design. I like the form factor. Well, don't really like the form factor that much, but I do like the layout. I like the modes. I like the note modes, the way you can work on it. But if they were to build a Force 2, what would I like to see in it? So, number one, first and foremost, is a tilt screen. Please, I'm begging. A tilt screen will be so clutch because, you know, you don't really realize that until you actually get one after working with it for like extensive periods of time, that it can become very taxing, that the way you work with it. A tilt screen will ease like a lot of stress on your spine and neck, and it will help the overall health of the producer or musician or artist that's using the Force in their music production or performance base. Touchscreen, adjustable touchscreen. Second thing will be to have dedicated buttons for every single function, and to make the touchscreen more of an optional thing, but not a mandatory thing when it comes to workflow. I find it to be somewhat, um, somewhat disruptive to have to touch the touchscreen to do certain functions. That even if you add another cursor, you know, like a up, down, left, right, um, to it to control the different things on the screen outside of the one that just changes, you know, position on the matrix mode, but also to have one that can control the different, you know, places on the screen. If you had a cursor, that would be clutch. I think that would really help. Second thing, third thing, excuse me, is could they replace the track buttons? Because one thing that I find to be very somewhat irritable and is when you go to finger drum or either play keys like in chromatic mode, it happens. I've done it several times where you go to play and you accidentally hit the track selection, and it might move you to a different track while in mid performance, which can really, you know, disrupt what you want to do and become irritable. So that would be cool. Yeah, another thing that I would like on this is foot switch inputs, and that you could connect a sustain pedal to it as well, because, you know, the Force, I see it also as an instrument, and being a musician for like, 17 years of my life, from playing the guitar to playing this, that's one thing that I kind of like miss, to have that, you know, fluidity that people have when playing keyboards or synthesizers or piano, that they have the sustain pedal, which allows them to you know, smoothly change different chords or hand positions, or even be able to like stack notes to kind of make a fuller sound without having to do this very choppy robotic type movements. You know, it can be more fluidity, excuse me. That will be super cool. Another thing will be to add more either MIDI outs, because on this you only got one MIDI in, out, and through. I think at least if you have 2 outs or maybe 4, that would be cool. Even with the 1/8 jack, that's not an issue to me, but it will be cool because that way you can control external gear better, and also probably add 8 CV outs and probably have a CV clock. That would be really cool because on the Force you only got 4 outs, and you know that's okay. But you know the X has 8 outs. You know, I don't really care if this is portable. That's not really an issue for me. I would like it just to have those functions, more or less, to have, you know, more MIDI ins and outs, more CV outs, a foot switch so you can hook up foot switches or sustain pedals. Do minor adjustments to the form factor, like switching the track select buttons maybe to the top so you don't accidentally switch or bump hitting them when you're performing. To add maybe another like cursor or you know, up, down, left, right thing that controls the different places on the screen, so it can be more tactile, and dedicated buttons. Even if you don't do the dedicated buttons, at least have that cursor that give you that option to utilize that to pick what you want to do. You know, that would be clutch, because the knob mode, the way it's set up is very progressive. I love it, but it's just that I don't wish to touch the touchscreen all the time. Adjustable touchscreen, and at least give the person the option to make the touchscreen an option in their workflow, not just a mandatory thing. Those are the things that I would really love to see in a Force Mk2, because I really think I love the OS. I love that this is completely standalone. It is truly standalone. You know, and I think a lot of people they're kind of pushed back from that because of the fact that it's straight up standalone. But I feel like where they're going with this, if they make those minor form factor adjustments, this thing will totally take over, because the OS is beasting. The OS is beasting straight up. So that's my wish list for a Force Mk2. Let me know in the comment sections what you think. What would you like to see in a new Force? Because like I stated in my last video, I love the Force. I love the idea of it, but I don't think it will age well due to the limitations or the flaws in the design that I made mention of in the last video, and some of the things that I think will make this not age well over time. So yeah, and whatever, if you agree with me, let me know. You know, this is something cool, and hey, if you got connections to Akai, or you feel like this is something that you will want to see in a Force 2, yeah, let them know, because I love this machine. I'm an advocate for this machine, but with those designs and the physical designs of it matched with the OS and what they're doing, it will be unstoppable. So with that, I'm Mike Venus. Be blessed, be safe, be healthy, and till the next time, Mike out.